it is nature. Okay.
So are you saying genetically you and your husband are predisposed to bondage? This is something that is inherently part of your genetic makeup. Here we go. All right.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good night. Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the Whiskey Podcast. I'm Chudata.
I am Nate Fu.
And we are drinking a Speyburn 10 while waiting for the plane to go overhead. You'll edit that out, right?
No, I'll leave it in. Just like I leave the birds and the bees and...
Well, that is part of the content.
Right.
Yeah. Kids and all that. Yes. Yeah, so we're episode 23. It's been an effort, but we're pushing ourselves back to a more regularly scheduled program.
Yeah.
And trying to expand some of our content offerings for all of our 2 followers. But it's stuff that makes us happy and keeps us amused. So there we go. But first, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking a Speyburn 10-year-old Scotch. It's a Speyside single malt.
Mm-hmm.
And it is healthy.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure. Now, this was another one from the list that the wives pulled of some of the most underrated whiskeys and scotches out there that won't break the bank.
Well, I can kind of understand why this one doesn't break the bank. It is a blow to the face.
Oh yeah, I'm sure if we had ice or something like that, we'd be able to mellow it out a little bit. As actually, you're supposed to have a little bit of distilled water or ice in whiskeys and scotches when you drink them.
Right, breaks them up, kind of brings out the flavors.
Mm-hmm. A more complete profile.
We're out of ice,
ice, and my ice maker doesn't work anymore, so. There's that. I brought
over a pound of ice, 2 nights ago, and it got used to make...
Science, yeah.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
So, unless we wanted a little salty ice, we're doing without.
Well, I mean, salty is kind of the name of the game, isn't it? I think we're all a bit salty. There's that little image for those of you that are listening. You can hear through our thoughts... something, I don't know. Just go with it, all right?
Just go with it.
Ooh. So, 2 weeks. What has happened in these last 2 weeks, Mr. Fu?
Oh, where do I begin? The girls are back in daycare, as we had gone over last episode. They'd been there for all of a week at that point, so we've got a couple more weeks under our belt there. Things have been working out quite nicely, and just when everyone's getting comfortable with going back to daycare, we're about to enter summer vacation.
Right? We're about, 4 weeks?
Something like
5 weeks away from summer vacation right now?
So it's going to go back to whatever madcap we had during the pandemic, except, Mommy won't be working as much.
Right. And you know what? I actually had a quiet house where I could work from home. It was amazing. I've actually accomplished more in the last week and a half than I have in the last month, but that'll change.
Right.
I will say that Mama Bear is kind of going crazy with some time on her hands. She spent the last 14 months with the little one surgically attached to her hip, no matter where she was. But now getting a couple hours a day where there's no kid hanging on her. She doesn't know what to do. She's quite confused.
And she's napping on a consistent basis, and
no, I think she's actually trying to start catching up with things that we said we'd get to.
No, your child.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, Mom Bear doesn't nap anymore. Poor thing. No, the child has switched from 2 naps to 1 nap, and no longer requires a passy. And yesterday she napped for 2.5 hours. That's insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane.
She's about to hit a growth spurt. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, and she took her first step yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Without holding on to anything.
Uh-oh.
Yep. No, any day now. And your oldest is convinced that my daughter's teeth are going to come in this week. And knowing the way things have worked out, it wouldn't surprise me if your daughter is correct.
Kid.
So, speaking of your kid, I saw an interesting picture today sent to the group chat.
Oh.
Why does your daughter enjoy getting tied up?
I don't know.
I mean, is this some sort of subconscious thing? Do we need to bring on one of the GMH guests to psychoanalyze your kid? Like, she's 4.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where what show she's picking it up from, but yeah, she.
I mean, Aquanauts is taking a rather dark turn, if that's the.
Yeah, she had the cat's leash lashed around her wrists.
Well, and the other day she had my dog's leashes attached to her sister and to the stroller.
Yeah.
And then tied off to the door.
She is efforting to control everything around her, including...
Control is definitely the way we'll take this. We will definitely take that with a pure control only approach. Because, dude, seriously, come on.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum.
Right. But, what else? On my side, work is finally calming down to a normal pace.
Right, you're done with that, the big hullabaloo?
Yeah, the client has decided to pivot to another way of finding it. Like, we couldn't discover any specific continuous means. So,
right.
They're going to look at other avenues that we're going to support them with. But this means, normal support, not a 24/7 mad rush.
Correct.
To resolve things. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So
that frees you up a little more time for gaming, which
I still haven't done in a while. But that's the second part of this podcast, because we'll be talking to you about some of our new content ideas and how we can bring more of the whiskey and Debuff Dad brands to you.
Right. Yeah.
But first, a note from our sponsors.
A note for our sponsors.
None. We have none sponsors.
Yeah. With summer coming up and the wives having a little more free time, we're going to try to get back to a little more regular streaming. Like I did it for a little bit during my paternal leave with my first.
Right.
Got everything set up, got it ready to roll, and then was streaming, 2-3 times a week. At a minimum 2 times, once during the week and once on a weekend. And then once I went back to work, it became maybe once a week, maybe twice a month, maybe once a month.
Yeah. So we got the streaming we're definitely going to be doing. I think I'm going to aim for trying to do 2 nights a week.
Right.
After the kids go to sleep. But then I just, between the site and I would love to get some more YouTube content out there. So I have a couple ideas. One of them being very Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy inspired. This has been another shit Mike Toddler did. Just a 15-second clip of what we're doing because, to borrow influence from the great creator Dan Finity. His group is called Beardos, and it's not about the beard on your face. It's about the beard on your heart.
And if there's a
Debuff Dad,
a beard on your heart, you better go get that checked out.
Yeah. At Debuff Dad, it's not about being a dad. It's about being broken on the inside.
Yes.
And I think we can all toast to that. Clink. So,
yeah.
Speaking of broken.
Well, I managed to break my cell phone. My wife managed to break her cell phone with cases on them. So,
and these are new phones, right?
Brand new. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, congratulations, Mazel Tov.
One more thing we got to spend more money on. That's.
Don't even talk to me about money.
Yeah.
We've already spent any money that I may have earned extra over the summer.
Of course.
Because, there's all these extra activities that we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So my little one is going to start swim lessons in July.
With the
family friend who's a swim teacher.
Okay.
So, we'll get at least a friends and family discount.
Nice.
But still, you went through 2 of them so far. You know how that is. There's already several trips that are being planned, whether we are aware of them or not.
Yeah.
Your oldest is insistent that we are all going to Hawaii this summer.
Oh, darn.
She has informed all of us several times.
Yeah. What will we ever do with that?
Right.
I guess I'll go to Hawaii. I mean,
who's paying for this trip? Where is this coming from? I for one haven't volunteered to pay for said trip. But your daughter's like, no, we're going.
Well, she better get a job.
Right.
Not tying people up.
Well, I mean, not until she's older. They can make good money to get through medical and law school that way.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm no help. Last night we decided on a lark to, drive to the beach and get proper seafood.
Nice.
Because that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Girls were being crazy, hadn't napped, said, screw it, we're driving down to the beach. And, of course, they pass out on the way there.
That's the only appropriate thing to do.
Like, they slept through the entire drive there, slept through the ordering of the food, almost slept through the eating of the food.
Well, I heard your youngest was chugging that cocktail sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both my girls like the spice. So, I guess I'm fortunate in that way. They'll probably enjoy the chili tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to see some of our friends tonight who we've seen a couple of times during the pandemic. But
right.
This is like the first scheduled real get-together.
Yep.
And one friend who has a very amazing name, he was my best man, is actually a champion chili cooker.
Mm-hmm.
And he, entered the chili contest originally to troll and ended up being, second place?
Something like that.
Yeah, so he's making the chili tonight. But yeah, it'll be nice to finally get everyone together.
Yeah, that's one thing that I have been looking forward to, and we've been doing a little more now that we're both, everyone in the house is vaccinated, sans the children, of course.
Right.
But yeah, we went out and got breakfast the other morning.
Yeah.
Again, we're starting to go into restaurants, which is still kind of freaky, but
dude, I walked a mall yesterday, an indoor mall. And I have to, props to everyone who was very, respectful. Everyone had their masks on. Everyone kept, social distance, whatever. I will point out that Victoria's Secret apparently doesn't have to worry because every store Victoria's Secret owned in that mall had lines in it before they opened. Apple Store had 2 lines going for it. Yeah. I mean, it was quite impressive.
Well, I guess now that everyone's starting to go out, you got to
we're
dress the occasion.
Yeah, we're at a very high vaccine rate. But along those lines, one thing I did point out to my wife is that I love the people watching because some of the women walking around the mall had more cloth on their face than they did on their ass. I mean, props for them for their priorities. I, for one, appreciate the not spreading of the germs as their priority. And we will keep it at that because we're married and the women listen to this. Hi, honey, I love you.
He looked. He looked. Don't lie.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're all pure, good role models.
But
something like that.
I mean, whatever. If that's what you feel like looking like, going out and rock it.
Especially if you can rock it. If you've got it, flaunt it.
No, even if you don't, if you're comfortable in your skin, I may not look at it, but if you feel comfortable in your skin, knock yourself out.
On the side note, he does look at it.
I see it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm, again, just itching to go out and socialize again.
I see people would be nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've got a lot of the community that we've kind of built up and become friends with over the pandemic through Twitch and live streaming and other content creators. So, we live relatively close to Dizzy and Mrs. Dizzy. I know, what's her name? Liz, who does a lot of stuff with the Guardian Con GCX group, just moved out here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of general conventions and expos, both from the entertainment industry and from other industries that are trying to come back.
Yeah, I know a few content creators that are out here, and and a handful of community members that I would love to just finally get to sit down and face to face, have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, or something stronger, depends on the time of day.
Right. But yeah, it's now all possible. It's just a matter of finding the time now.
Right. Because that's the other thing. We somehow managed to use the pandemic to start creating content, and rather than things slowed down as people started going back to their regular routines slowly, all that time has disappeared. Now my wife is like, you got to spend more time with us. We're not around anymore. When we're home, it'd be nice if you actually, looked at us. I'm like, I've been working all day. I don't need that. Thank you.
Right.
I do need a break myself, and having everyone and their cousin over constantly is not a break. Hi, honey. I love you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cool. So one of the things our wives had going, long before they met me, but you were there at some of the inception of it, was a martini night. And this is something that I guess their father and mom had started with a number of other teachers and school administrators and things like that in the area that they were friends with, and it kind of became a family tradition.
Yep.
So one of the big things my wife said is, once everyone's vaccinated and we're in summer, we're going to be hosting those again.
Oh, you're going to actually host them this time?
Yep, we're going to actually host them, I think.
Nice.
So
yeah, I think the regular hosts just
they moved.
They just moved, so yeah, I don't know that their house is ready for hosting events yet.
No, but we hosted one, I think. The problem is that means we have to clean up, and no matter how many times we clean up, disaster strikes in the name of our 3 children. And they're very good about taking everything out. Not so good about putting everything away.
No.
And that's a consistent family trait across the board.
No, that's a consistent children trait.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids these days.
And they're hippity-hoppity.
Yeah.
You may use that phrase a little too often.
Dude, I don't know about you. I'm just tired.
Yeah. Well, again,
just as I thought things would start being able to slow down a bit, summer is getting ready to hit, and we're ramping back up again.
Because we were going so stir crazy over the course of this, we occupied all of our free time with stuff. And we can either give up on that stuff.
No, I think this is the conversation we had was, we're not doing any of this content creation because we expect anything out of it.
Correct.
Except for the fact that we enjoy doing it. And if we could help others and make others laugh through our trials and tribulations, so be it.
Sure. Yeah. It's definitely a kick in the nuts type of content most of the time.
Which, by the way, your daughter is getting tall enough and is very good with her aim. And speaking of daughter, I hear mine screaming.
Yeah, what was it the other day? She literally walked up and just crossed right in the
I think she was defending her sister.
The problem was I didn't realize it. I literally walked into the room and got punched in the kibbles.
Yeah. No, she does that. I think it's a form of marking her territory. And I mean, she's the only one that's allowed to beat up on her sister.
Sure, but I hadn't done anything. This was like a proactive,
Yeah. It was advising you against it. She's also apparently started to defend her mom and her auntie and her cousin, whether anything was happening or not. And besides the punch, she's got the people's elbow down packed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just putting this out there, Mama Bear. If we're going to go for number 2, we may need to do it sooner rather than later. Or else there may not be much left after she decides to defend someone again.
Yeah, she's been going after the cats too, which that's been fun.
Yeah.
Because cat will scratch them, and he does.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't like it, but that's...
Is she still trying to climb into the fish tank and pet the fish?
No.
That's good. I mean, that's growth. We'll call that growth. You know, I can only be so concerned with how traumatized they all are at this point.
They're little beggars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you train them just like anything else.
Yep. But yeah, and the other fun one on the drive out to dinner, we got this wonderful explanation on how my oldest and my youngest are both plants.
Oh, they're plants.
They're plants.
Oh, please indulge us. How are your 3-year-old and 2.5 or 4-year-old and 2.5-year-old plants?
Well, because she catches bugs, and she's very, very hungry. She's a Venus flytrap.
Ah, I see.
So we said, then what is your sister? And she says, well, she catches bugs with long tails, so she's a penis flytrap.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I see the family resemblance.
Yeah. That one's going up on the wife's TikTok, I believe. She's just got to caption it. Because, we went, did we just hear that right? Ask again. Please clarify. Oh, no. Some bugs have long noses and long tails and long tongues, so they have penises. And...
Mm-hmm. Do they also look like crayons?
No, they do not look like crayons.
They do not look like
That's
crayons.
just Daddy.
Oh, that's just Daddy that looks like crayons.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Things we learn. We are, personally thankful to Dr. Binox, Octonauts, and all the other shows this one watches to educate her effectively. This is a long pause into the camera.
Yeah. Well, Daddy had to pour himself another glass because, that's... Kids say some weird shit.
Yeah. And that's why we're going to make a short series about it. Because we'll never run out of content. The issue is capturing all of it.
Right. That's been the biggest struggle because a lot of times they're flash in the pan. Like, just straight foibles. Like,
What was the song she was singing the other day that your wife was pretty certain was actually a threat on her life?
I don't remember, but yeah, it was...
when things are lost, they'll disappear, and Mommy will disappear soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I will disappear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids say the darndest things.
So yeah, that'll be some content coming your way.
Coming to a social media stream near you.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
Well, you said we were gonna start streaming more.
Yes.
What are we gonna be collabing, or are you gonna do some more on your own? What kind of stuff were you thinking about putting out there?
Well, step 1 is starting. And what we do after that, I think, is, up to both of us. But at this point, unless we start the routine, it ain't going to keep happening.
Right.
Because like all things, I had the conversation with my wife. She's like, well, why don't you just set some time and start doing it? And I'm like, well, because every time we do set some time, you guys change the schedule. No, that's not true. We completely respect your time and keep everything out as it is. Okay, cool. Then Nate Fu and I are going to record this Sunday at 1:00.
Right.
And you guys aren't, he and his wife and kids are not going to come over until after their nap time. Great. Everyone's here at noon.
Right. But we're still on the air at 1:00, so.
Yeah, because we just walked away. Because, planning is possible.
Yes.
Just not when you have a family.
Oh, boy.
Love you, honey.
So this is the 23rd and final episode of...
Right. Well, it may just be the Nate Fu podcast after this one. There may be an APB out for Mama Bear after this. Local man mauled by wife.
Mauled by bear.
Yeah. By bear wife.
Oh, man.
And since you like watching those car chases so much, I mean, the content will be on local TV.
I saw an article the other day where someone was saying that the car chases need to stop because the last one, I guess one recently happened out here in this area where the person fleeing ran into another car and accidentally killed the passengers of that car. And it's like, well, if the police weren't chasing him, he wouldn't have done that. I watch enough car chases to know they run, whether there's a car behind them or not.
Although I do have to say, was that one you were watching 2 days ago that we put on TV so you and my daughter could watch, my 15-month-old daughter.
I got one of them.
Right? No, the cops were on that car's ass the entire time. Like, damn. I have not seen them that aggressive out here in a while.
Yep. Actually pitted them and, like, on a busy street. So, just depends. It varies department to department what their rules are. They all look the same to us from the sky, but, yeah. I wonder how long Mama Bear would get away.
I don't know. I think she's got her tricks.
So
I'm just saying she's got a very identifiable custom license plate. So it'll be very easy to get more information on her.
Oh, I hear my daughter now.
Yep. Yeah, this is why we try to schedule things around naps that don't end up going consistently.
Wow, I know those sounds. That's the sound of, you're not putting me down for a nap. I'm not sleeping. I'm
I'm not tired.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you just hate me, don't you?
Oh my gosh.
Mommy, why don't you love me? Why won't you let me do what I want? Ooh. What else is out there? Yeah, community-wise, I have to say something's working out there. I did a wonderful shout-out to Richie Bob, who I'm now doing some mod support with and is a great community streamer. And he happened to YouTube and find us. So if you find us again, thank you very much for following us, and I can't wait for us all to grab a drink and talk about DFARS.
Yes. I love that was the thing he picked on me. He's like, DFARS?
Right.
It is a very unique thing, and it's funny the way like both of us and our familiarity with it is very, very different. Like I'm used to it from at this point from an operations side because of the industry I'm in. You're in now learning about it from the administration.
Now,
yeah, the administration side of it.
I did it through entertainment and the training exercises we would help set up. And I'll leave it at that at this point.
Right. And then prior to that, mine was dealing with HIPAA compliance because I was doing, again, mercenary IT work. And one of my clients was a doctor. So yeah, there's a huge.
So I'm just saying, there's a premise for the Mag Park IT guy. For more information, please check back on episode 13?
13 or I
something
remember.
like that. Mag Park IT guy. He's there to turn it off and on again.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I broke him. So now a word from our sponsors. Still none.
Still none.
All right.
But yeah, no, so the networking is working. I appreciate the heck out of you, Richie Bob.
Yeah, a lot of other communities have come forward and really supported us. The Infinity and the Bearded Legion is huge with us. Yeah,
they're going to actually start posting our go lives.
Yeah, and talking about when our podcast goes live. So props, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you. We are not worthy. I don't got much. Anything new in gaming news?
Not a whole heck of a lot. I really haven't had time to game this week. Like, it's just been such an absolute shit show with, again, end of the month quotas and everything. By the time I get home, it's just the last thing I want to do is sit in front of a TV for, I don't have 2 hours to sit in front of a TV.
Right.
And everything we play, it's, there's.
By the time you get into it.
Yeah. There's not a lot of 15-minute, half-hour content that we play anymore. So
maybe we'll get into League of Legends.
Hey, no.
We'll do one of those 15-minute battles or something, and cry because that's the most depth we can get into anything at the moment.
Right,
and we still suck at it.
But yeah, I mean that's been the biggest hurdle with parenting and being a gamer, is finding the time to actually sit down and do something. Like, back in the olden days, you could pop in Nintendo, play a couple of rounds of whatever Mario, or play a game of Tetris, and you'd be in and out, consume some small content. But everything's becoming such an epic story.
Yeah. Although right now, like, I know your daughter is quite interested in us all playing Ark together. So maybe we'll be able to get some game time there. She just likes seeing the dinosaurs and watching me get eaten. Yes, get eaten. She does like that. But again, like, that's another game that Diablo's probably the only one that we can pop in and just do a level. Yeah. And like pop in, do it, be done. Or we could go the Path of Exile, which is just as complicated, but free to play at least. But like Ark, if I don't find a place to sleep, my character's dead next time I walk in. Yeah. Right? And that takes more than 15 minutes to, say 15% or more. So again, dad and gaming, they don't play nice together. Unless you really limit your style of game. Well, that, and we actually try and have some accountability across the board. And we say we're leaving at 6:30 for everyone to go home and go to bed. That means 6:30, not 7:45. We're finally leaving. Right. Well, and Mrs. Fu. And again, this goes back to the community aspect of things, is trying to actually hook up with people online to collaborate and do stuff with. This is one of my big gripes that I've always had with Destiny-like games, where you have 6-person non-match made activities, or 3-person non-match made activities. Is like trying to find 3 people in your time zone. Yeah, that are going to work at your strange hours. Right. The only way that's going to happen is if that's hard enough when you don't have kids. Have kids, have wives, have jobs, have all that stuff. It's very, very, and a lot of the dads I know that are parts of clans and whatnot, that's the biggest hurdle. Yep. Finding that community that knows. Yeah, I at this point refuse to even sign into Destiny at this point, because I know, like, the effort I put in to try and catch up so that I could do some of those things. is going to be obsolete by the time I can actually get around to doing those sorts of things.
Which that was the one thing I'm very, 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 very happy with them announcing Vault of Glass.
Right.
The entry level to Vault of Glass is 1,300. Most people are already going to be at that when the season starts. Anyone that isn't at that is going to be there very quickly. This is the first time I've actually seen endgame activity be accessible.
Right.
From day one.
No, it's true.
So, like, I'm still not even, I'm nowhere near 1,300. Wife's almost at 1,300.
Yeah.
But
when the hell has she gotten time to play?
What do you think she does when I'm putting the kids to sleep?
Ah. I'm sensing where these double standards come from.
It cracks me up. Yeah, I put the girls to bed. I typically fall asleep on the floor with them because
you're at work at 5 a.m.
Right. Yeah. And when they're cuddled up on me, it's just that, everyone's out.
That is rough. That's a pretty rough situation. I get it.
Right. Sitting in a dark room with whatever white noise, ocean sounds, rain sounds, whatever. Dark room, 2 sleeping babies. I'm out. I'm sorry. That's gonna put me down for the count every time. And the wife is so very kind and lets me sleep on that hardwood floor for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Make sure I'm well rested.
Well, she's actually fighting back now and saying she does laundry and dishes.
She does. She has been, and I'm thankful for it. But by the time, if I walk out of that office on my own, not her, waking me up at 10:30 at night to come to bed because she's done with the dishes and the laundry and whatever
and a couple rounds of whatever she was doing,
right? Yeah. And the strike she's on. I'll walk out and every time it's like, oh, hey, you're playing video games and yes, and doing laundry and dishes, which involves putting them in one machine and pushing a few buttons and moving them to the next machine and then waiting and yes, I appreciate the effort. I love that you've been doing that. I'm a little jealous that you get to game as much as you do, and I don't. Yeah. But and again, that's the routine that's been working with the girls. Gets them to sleep every time. And to her credit, I love you, dear.
Don't hurt us.
Don't hurt us. Please don't cancel the show. Has been taking her shifts so that I can make content, right? Like between this podcast and GMH, and now I'm venturing into another gig with our buddy Tim. That was he was episode 2 or 3,
something like that.
Yeah,
no, it was a little later than that.
But yeah,
because episode 2 or 3 was Dan.
Dan, yes. But so he's asked me to kind of come in and fill some voids there, so he could be more consistent with content as well. So that's
you're just so talented, Mr.
No, I'm not.
Could I get your autograph, please?
My greatest ability is my availability, and that's why I've been doing all the stuff I've been doing, because everyone else is running out of time.
You're just so good at putting out content.
Yes.
Putting out.
Putting up with. I love the sound of my own voice, apparently, which is ironic because I hate the sound of my own voice.
Yeah. No, I do too. Which is why you do the sound editing and I do the video editing. So, we got anything else? Or do we want to start wrapping this one down?
I think we could wrap this one down a little early. What are we at?
We're at around
47 minutes. Yeah. So this will trim down to about 35, 40 minutes.
Yep.
By the time I'm done hacking out all of
the awkward pauses.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, really, since you do the sound editing, it's all about you anyway. So, what about the kid liking her bondage? We already covered that, but we appreciate that you ignored the first half of our recording. Thank you, Lady Foo.
Well, so wife, would you like to inform us on why she likes the bondage? Is this something you're doing? Because it's not something I'm doing.
And which TV show are you letting her watch that she can learn about such unique pastimes?
It is nature. Okay.
So are you saying genetically you and your husband are predisposed to bondage? Is this something that is inherently part of your genetic makeup?
I plead the fifth.
Well, I think we got our episode intro.
Definitely.
And with that, from episode 23 of the Whiskey Podcast, I'm Chew Data.
I'm dead. I'm Nate Fu. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
If we're still alive. If not, please make any donations on our behalf to Guardians Mental Health. Thanks, and peace out.